Degrees of 1, and grade here for another Age Mythology Replay. Small on top right side is the blue Gaia. We have Torgale. Small on bottom left side is the red Freyr. We got Kiber. Goats have been obtained. They're of course the goat. When it comes to relics on this map, we do have the text of Imovet, which does make your buildings construct faster, which is okay, nothing too significant. Armana's necklace gives you your village extra gold collection rate, very nice to have. Charitas Cybele give you a pair of lions. And the 5-color stone of Nuwa gives your buildings 50% less cost of repairs, which is okay, but not super important. Generally, buildings are either alive or dead, not really in between. And for Gaia, less so much for the repair cost, since she does of course get some health regen on her buildings. Gaia, of course, can age up to Oceanus to give access to Palpapeltis damage, Murmello and Fanatic damage, and bleed. And frontline tactics, infantry hero cost reduction, or Leto, which is actually, I think, is a god that people should go more often. Spider is a pretty good god power to protect yourself. Automatons is a pretty nice defensive myth unit. This also makes you get reduced pierce damage, and of course your oracles can be better. For Freyr, of course, he has access to Freyja, give access to Cavalry and Valkyrie's hit points and speed, Valkyrie work rate, and hero hit points, so hero and Cavalry. Olar gives access to Draugrs, gives you longhouse speed and defensive units, and of course early battering rams. I think people don't go for Leto more often, though in this case, increased Pierce armor is not going to be super useful against the Norse, since they have ranged melee units in form throwing axemen. So not too particular great, but the other option is Murmello damage and Palpapeltis damage, which are both melee infantry units there, which that same unit will be countered by the throwing axemen. I'm still more biased towards the less common god, plus the Spider Layer god power is pretty nice in protecting yourself from raiding cavalry. And plus, who doesn't want more favor generation for your oracles, especially when you start out with 3 of them. We have Oceanus there, which does also provide the Cauldron excellent healer as a good alternative, and we do also have Olar there for the Draugrs. And the Asgardian Bastion. More Gaia Force, this time being summoned over there, maybe trying to protect the berries a little bit. Quadra up for a bit of scouting, we'll spot the Draugr. It looks like both players are being a little bit defensive at the moment, or not aggressive, so we can fast forward. It still appears to be an eco phase. First year is being summoned versus some Murmellos, so blue may eye for a bit of aggression with the Murmellos. That's kind of throwing Axemans. And it does actually get them heroic. And we do also have the serrated blades, or the bite of the shark, which will give... Wasn't it actually originally called serrated blades in Gold Edition? Well, either way, it does give Murmellos increased damage and Fanatics increased damage by 5%. Nothing too significant. Also gives them bleed damage. It's honestly not super great. I don't really put much value in the bleed damage. And plus 5% damage is okay, but not a massive number. And it looks like blue has obtained the relic lines, which just gives them extra mass. They move at speed of 5, for Mellows move at 4.5 at the moment, so they can keep in good formation here. They have 70 health, 15 damage, which is actually quite nice, but horrible attack speed. It's free units. You can't really be begging for better units of free. And they also not classified as myth units, they're classified as magical lion. And so, they do not receive bonus damage from the first years. One, the old Sarks do get eaten there by the Carnivora.
Yo!
Both relic lines do go down, drawing quite a bit of damage there. The Carnivora has a pretty good DPS, and does manage to live with 3 health remaining. The Carnivora says 20 damage, but I'm pretty sure that's also not exactly correct. I think like every single tentacle or vine provides that much damage. Also does have the instant kill effect. Decent amount of Marmellas there. Looks like the Caladria cannot heal up the Carnivore. Maybe it can. I don't know if it's classified as, it says myth unit, so if it's not classified as structure, I think the Caladria should be able to heal it up. And it looks like he's trying to repair the structure up. He does have the reduced repair time cost or repair cost, so somehow that's being very useful right now. So gotta eat crow right there. Got some healing there. Wait, I could probably select the Caladria as well. Guys, select there. Nope, they cannot heal up the Carnivora. It looks like it is classified as a building, even though it doesn't say in the description. If not, I will. Should Caladria be able to heal Carnivora? Would that be overpowered? It might actually be a little bit overpowered if Caladria could heal up Carnivora. Be a powerful combo because Carnivora are actually pretty good, like I mentioned beforehand. Able to instantly kill infantry units there, has pretty high DPS. I wonder if it was on Lush, we'll see some health regen, but we do have now Thea queued on up for Gaia, give access to Inflating Bird and Dryads. Lance of Stone and Poseidon's Secret, and Prophetic Sight and Daughter of the Sea. I don't know all the upgrades top of my head, my apologies. The Berserk did not take too much bleed damage there. I really believe the damage over time effects are far too weak most of the time. It's like like 1 damage at most. The bleed effects I don't think also stack, or they may stack, but still not worth it. I have no value in the damage over time effects. We do have now Thea being researched, as well as Hippie Free ready to be researched, or at least queued on up.
Scopus.
You can see here, this infantry unit there took like 1 or 2 bleed damage. It's not useful. We got some local doggos here as well, some Zodiac doggos. And do now the Asgardian Bastion being pulled out right there, just trying to secure this gold deposit. Also gives them projection towards over here. Day is almost complete and nowhere near enough resources to age on up. Almost out of berries here as well, and cooked up some goats. The goats are pretty well fattened. So it looks like Gaia's in an ever increasingly good position right now. Oh. That old Sark just got bored. Carnivora. One of you don't like me saying that. Either way, got the heavy Marmello research now complete versus a good number of throwing axemen and berserks. Cherry Ballista is probably a good item to counter out. Throwing axemen are classified both as ranged and infantry, so Cherry Ballista will counter them. Cherry Ballista classifies ranged soldiers as well as siege weapon. Ager now queued on up. Give access to rock giants. Symphony Bird here as well, which also provides bleeding damage. I have no idea how effective the bleed effect is. It's like the other bleed effects, probably not much. And I don't see the abilities there. Yeah, the bleed effect's still not that good. Another carnivore is in front field to flank the throwing axeman. Does grab one of them. Got some Argus archers here, which are counter to melee infantry units there with plus 25% damage. Not a huge counter, but a decent enough one. And they also offer good range. Red is trying to fight in this choke point there. No, the Ulfsarks to push forward. Let the axeman fire from behind, but overall just simply outnumbered. And all those units are pretty wounded. Also got a decent number of Dryads in the field, which are not particularly great. They have just simply 0 population, which is really nice, actually. Got a Carnivore here. Intercepting the reinforcements, very nice.
Yeah.
And we've got the Tempest now being summoned there as well, hitting Blue's forces. We're gonna have to fight in the Tempest, so it's not great. And there's the Grok Giant. Red's force largely appears to be cleaned on up. Blue's is slowly being put on down. Reinforced here, but won't be able to break through the wooden gate as well. Symphony Bird is being hit pretty hard by the wooden fortress, but also being hit by the Caladrias. And Blue's force will be cleaned on up. Looks like Blue's overall falling back. The 3 Caladrias are still alive. Red needs to get out some go to deal with these flying units. Going for more Argus archers, more Memellos. Like I said beforehand, I think the Chariot Ballista is not a bad item at the moment. Going for some bronze upgrades as well for Gaia. You can skip the bronze shields. You are fighting against the Norse, who has not too many sources of range damage. You have now the prophetic sight, giving increase Oracle work favor rate by 10% and increase 10% bonus. And able to see what, and if they spot a building, they can see what is in the production structure. It was actually a pretty fun ability. Is that global effect there? Oracles reveal enemy UI action, so it is the Oracle, not just global. Which is also a pretty fun effect. It's probably actually very difficult to make any use of that. We do now have the, the Ring of Oath there, reducing the cost of Asgard Bastions from 100 down to 40. He does also have a good amount of favor in the field, so you can start doing some Asgard, or summoning some Asgardian Bastions to help him out. This one, of course, receiving some repairs. And a good number of barracks in the field. No counter barracks, though. That's the armor. Yeah, it looks like no counter barracks are on the field. The Skrulls may just try to build a town over there. Could use an Asgard Bastion to camp it as well. Red still also has access to Gil and Bersetti. This Carnivore that he summoned initially is still alive. Asgardian Bastion being summoned right there. Memello's going straight for the structure. Another carnivore summon. It looks like the Roger will be cleaned on up without hitting without being hit by any myth units. Dylan Bracetti now full in the field. Bush needs to run away, just avoid it for now. The Caladra maybe will slow down, but then again, it's classified as a hero, so may not be able to be slowed down and crippled by the Caladra.
Skopos.
Yep, she cannot hit the boar of the cripple. Or whatever it's called. No, I can't highlight what those abilities are actually named. This town center finally has been built. In this back one as well. So right now it's Triple Town Center. Just going for more Memellos, more Argus Archers, and some Destroyers. And we got the Symphony Bird that has been shot down. Argus Archers firing away. And we've got quite a bit of a split attack there. You can see multiple axes being casted there. So he did a bit of focus firing there. Scarls be very useful to gauge the Argus Archers being a counter infantry unit there. Gabbard is trying to clear up the town center. Throwing Axeman gets inside the town center, just popping around, trying to deal with the Memellos as they advance. Argus Archers focus on some of these units as they start advancing. Does inside the town center. Does pop on the far side. They're stringing some more forces now. The town center has been destroyed. More throwing Axon, more Huskarls being deployed in the field. You now have another Asgard and Bastion being summoned. Way over here. Maybe some other production structures up and going. And Red, who has a significant amount of favor, he could probably just try to save up some more favor to bring in another Tempest. Gaia is now researching what's this called? Frontline Heroics. Make your promoting infantry units cost by 30%. Freyr has plenty of food, some wood, not a lot of gold. Freyr has plenty of gold, some wood we're worth, and a decent amount of food as well. And some of those dwarves are being picked on off. Got a forward palace there, so now Gaia can go to the next age. I'm always a bit more impartial to Hecate because I like the Tartaros Gate and Lampedes. For when it comes to gods, of course, Lampedes does give Mythic Rejuvenation, gives some Mythic Healing, which is probably not super important. It gives your Lampedes another instant kill. And Clarity makes your myth units attack faster, attack speed, and makes them faster. Makes all your myth units just generally better. Titan Shields make your destroyers take even less range damage. Not important in this situation. They fight against the Norse, and of course Argus upgrade, and Fanatics get better there. And of course Implode versus Tartarus Gate. Both are pretty good, but I think we'll prefer Implode. I like Tartarus Gate. Got some various research being queued on up. Got the 9 waves being queued on up, as well as stone walls. Allegedly stone walls. And blue's cleaning some villagers there. Red does not. This is where some stuff there. I'm not sure where Red's military is at. We'll kind of stream in. Saw this army advancing. I'm sort of surprised he didn't take time to at least group up forces around here. And Red is losing a decent number of villagers. Could have got themselves town center, at least kept them wide and provides extra capabilities there. Huskarls throwing axes to destroy forward, or old sorcerers say. We got some Huskarls mixed on in though. Another carnivore has been summoned. Throwing axemen push away forward. Getting picked up by the Argus archers. Looks like blue will get cleaned up, but won't be great for red as a Pyrrhic victory. More Argus archers and more mellows being summoned.
Scopus.
Trying to prep that town center now. More Argus archers, more Mamellas being summoned, and we do also have now Hectate being queued on up. Give access, of course, to land paydays in the Tartarus Gate. Tartarus Gate seems like has always seemed like a great idea to lock down trade route. Some in the back line will divert a decent amount of forces. Over on Freyr's side, we have now Vidar queued on up. Destroyers got quickly ripped apart there. They're of course a anti-structure unit with higher pierce armor. They're the alternative to the portable battering ram. We have now this hill fort being built. Blue's gonna be able to engage it. Does get the hill fort built, trying to repair it in combat. I wonder if it still has that relic for cheaper repairs. Little battering ram summon, hitting that palace now. Another carnivore summoned out somewhere. Don't think Carnivore can instant kill villagers. In fact, they do 75% less damage versus villagers. Let's eat a Huskarl or an Old Sark there. Another Asgardian badge is being summoned. And looks like guys going for some llama caravans. Both players have not actually started to age up while they have them queued on up. Both of them are capable of aging up, just borrowing resources. Another round of Huskarl engaging Argus Archers, very nice. Try to rebuild this town center there. Got good number of destroyers destroying some various infrastructure. Red is actually at overpop cap due to lack of town centers now. Destroyers advance down to these incomplete town centers though, getting some great damage on their construction. Got nearly below half health there. Trying to pair it up in combat as well. He looks like he will not save the town center. Metal is now pushed forward to help him deal with it. Blue's just streaming more reinforced across the map. So is Red trying to defend himself. Max population is going to become more and more of a problem for Red, but right now Blue's having trouble staying maxed out. Of course, we need more food before she can age on up. And Tartar's Gate may be particularly effective right now, seeing how weakened Red is. Red, on the other hand, does need more sources of food. Looks like he's lacking a food income. He has some wood to turn to some farms. He's probably going to try to restore these farms. That was not a watchtower, but a stone wall, allegedly stone wall. And now I do have Hecate being researched. And it looks like Blue is actually stealing some of these delicious boar. Which these guys may be a little bit too far forward to say the least. Huskarls will spot them. Citizens falling back to the fortified town center. Huskarls are fast.
Skopos.
Another Asgardian batch is being summoned. Llama Caravan's trading rate here provides 48 gold. Red's rebuilt a decent amount of infrastructure, has recovered a good amount of villagers. Food is still a big problem for Red. Maybe task these villagers here and go to the farms. Vidar now being queued on up. Got some ox caravans being deployed in the field. If Hecate can identify it, such as this oracle there, should summon the Tartar's Gate right here and just cause issues with any further trade. Tartar's Gate is spawned out right there. That, honestly, I don't think it's a great spot. I think Tartar's Gates do well in the back line to cause issues for your opponent, rather than trying to do it on the front line, which may also cause issues for yourself. Tartan spawn are pretty good, and they respawn pretty quickly. So it's nothing a small force can clean up, and there is a good amount of tartan spawn on the field. This is a temporary reprieve for blue to rotate around. Definitely a bad spot for this right here would have been a good spot. Fire siphon firing away. Lampades here. Lampades, of course, can make units frenzy. In the Gold Edition, it was like a permanent frenzy, where it actually becomes a Mother Nature unit. Don't think it's like that anymore. I think it's like a temporary frenzy, but still, it should be upgraded now to also get a polymorph ability. So you effectively have access to instant kills, since frenzy is something that's effectively instant kill. The Infernal was summoned there. Argus Archers overall has both been playing a very good number of forces there. I still think Cherry Bliss would be a little bit better in this situation, though a little bit slower, of course. We haven't seen too many reinforced druids. There's maybe an oversight for Gaia, because they should still cost... Oh, I think I heard one there. No, that was Lampades getting hit. Because the druids should still be 0 favor, right? Yep. And Gaia has plenty of wood, so there should be more dryads. Gaia is also eyeing for some fanatics, which are a good anti-infantry tool that made the best asset, other than against throwing axemen right now. But these Huskarls is what's giving some big issues, but fanatics should be a good complementary unit there. Plus, they do have the +5 some damage from the serrated blades. Red's able to recover quite significantly. One thing that helps out is all the extra food generation from those fortresses there. And blue actually back to the game. Great comeback by red. That's Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.